Hello everyone. Behind us here we have my 1926 Model T two-door sedan, and since you last saw it, quite a bit has happened with it. So for a little bit of backstory, I've had this Model T since 2011, 2012, and it was owned by a relative of mine, my great-grandfather's fourth cousin, which makes us not much, but a relative nonetheless. And a little bit of backstory on this car. A relative of mine owned this 1950 to 1954, my great-grandfather's fourth cousin, and he drove this car in high school. And I have pictures of him back in the day with it. It's really cool, and a lot of old people around town remember riding in this car with him and going out and causing trouble. And so it sat in a chicken coop from 54 until 2011, 2012 when I dragged it out of there. And overall, pretty much a solid car, but it needed a lot of work. The head had been removed, engine had been just sitting forever with mice living in the cylinders. And so a good friend of mine, Warren Kincaid, gave me a 1917 Model T engine that was in a lot better shape to put in it. And I took the 1926 engine, the correct engine, out and put it to the side. And so for a very long time, I drove this car as a just stock 1926 Model T Touring, I believe with a 1917 engine, and probably put 15,000 miles on it at least. I drove that car a lot. We did a backyard rebuild on the 1917 engine, new rings, did a valve job, tightened up the bearings, just freshened it up, but I mean, no crank grinding, no new Babbitt or anything. And so sophomore year of college rolls around, the thing's pretty worn. I mean, I've driven this car a lot. So then decided to start doing an engine rebuild, and originally just gonna do a relatively stock flathead Model T engine with a couple of upgrades like a cam, some upgrades to the oiling system, higher compression head, and so forth. But I stumbled upon this conversion called a Neil Jern overhead valve conversion. It uses a 1928 Chevrolet head. The school where I'm just about to graduate from, McPherson College, they have a 4-year automotive restoration program. They have a Speedster, which you've seen in a previous video, that has a conversion on it. But it had some water in the cylinders. And so I was taking that engine apart, and they allowed me to reverse engineer that, a whole adapter kit. And a friend of the school who has a CNC machine cut out the adapter plate for me. And so I've really got this thing together now. I think I got all the bugs worked out. It has a lot of head gasket issues, or it did. But through just some better gasket material, better machine surfaces, and better fasteners, I think I've resolved all those issues, and it's running really sweet. So it's about a 55 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour car, which is pretty scary considering it's only got one-wheel brakes. These Model Ts have the service brake in the transmission, and since it's going through the open differential, you technically only have one-wheel brakes. So Rocky Mountain brakes are probably in the future. I really don't drive it that fast. I've done that once just to see what it could do. But most of the time I'm living around 35 miles an hour, and it's a really solid running, pretty reliable car. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I'm looking forward to taking it on some tours. So let's take a look at the engine. I'm gonna fire it up for you guys. It's downpouring outside right now, so I won't be able to drive it, but we'll do a driving video pretty soon. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this quick little recap video of the 1926 Ford Model T. And certainly you'll be seeing quite a bit more of this car in the future. Thanks for watching.